The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Pascal Siakam, a playoff career-high 39 points. Knicks down 3 final seconds. Jalen Brunson for the tie. No, he did score 36. Couldn't make it there. And the Pacers hold on to win 114-109 and now lead the series 2-0. Great to have you with us here from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito along with Wally Zerbiak. Alan Hahn will join us shortly. So the Knicks down 2-0. We have an hour-long post-game show here to break it down. The biggest lead, Wally, in this game for either team was 10 points. It was back and forth. It was tight the entire night. It just came down to the Pacers winning the fourth quarter by 5 points. It's not like the Knicks lost it. The Pacers were just a touch better tonight, just a touch better. Yeah, the Knicks are going up against a really connected, complete team. In order to beat this team, you're going to have to knock them out. You're going to have to play well. And I was a little fearful after you give away game one when the Knicks played at a high level. They had a bunch of guys just playing very good basketball. You knew the Pacers were going to come up with some adjustments. They shut down a lot of guys. Karl Anthony Towns didn't have the same impact that he didn't have in game one. And this team is going to be tough. And the Knicks dug themselves a pretty deep hole. Knicks are a great road team. They're going to need it to go into Indiana and play some really good basketball. But it's very alarming that they cannot defend home court, something that they earned and worked for to have all year. The fact that they can't win here at MSG, that's a big problem in the playoffs. Knicks' home playoff record this postseason 3-5. On the road, they're 5-1. And the next 2 games, of course, are at Indiana. Well, it was 81 all after 3 quarters of play. Pacers just won the fourth quarter barely, and that was enough to win the game. Yeah, and, you know, Tom Thibodeau left Mitchell Robinson out there for a long time. Karl Anthony Towns didn't see a lot of time in that fourth quarter. Maybe a little bit of a message being sent that Karl Anthony Towns has to play inspired basketball the next couple games. But Knicks tried to hang in there. They tried to do whatever they could, keep themselves in this game. This Indiana team, they generate really good shots with their offense. And they are locked in on the defensive end of the floor. Tyrese Halliburton is not afraid of the moment. Jalen Brunson was huge down the stretch, making some big shots and some big plays. But Pascal Siakam, you know this guy is a former All-Star. He's a big-time difference maker. He had 39 points, like you mentioned. That lay-in gave Indiana the 10-point lead. Then Jalen Brunson went into hero mode like he normally does. Hits that 3, cut it to 5. Then the floater here, tough shot, fouls, maybe. He looked at the ref after this one like, am I going to get a call anytime? 3-point game. And this was a nice play here. Jalen Brunson reading the defense, finding his running mate and his roommate, Josh Hart, cuts it to 1. But then down 3, listen, you got to roll with Jalen Brunson. He's the decision maker. If that's the best shot he thinks he can get, he's got to go with it. And he missed it. Knicks fouled. And the Pacers, unlike the Knicks in game one, they made their free throws when they had to down the stretch. Look at the numbers. Pacers, 26 assists. Pretty even, as you might expect. Pacers win it 114-109. They had great balance. All 5 starters for the Pacers, double figures. And off the bench for the Pacers, T.J. McConnell had 10 points. So they had 6 players in double figures, led by Pascal Siakam's 39. Across the street, we find our pal, Alan Hahn. Alan, what's your takeaway? Tight game. Pacers just prevailed a little bit down the stretch.
It also seemed like down the stretch they were able to get to a lot of those second chances on an offensive glass. They only had 7 offensive rebounds from what I saw in the box score, but it felt like the important ones they were getting, the tap backs that they were getting, the Knicks were uphill this whole game. And as you guys were just talking about it, the pick and roll defense was shredded tonight, and it was a major issue. They run a lot of traffic out on the court. I don't know if you see it from the TV because the TV kind of zooms in, but when you stand on the court and you watch their whole offense work, there's action happening everywhere. And so when you're switching, the communication is so critical. And how many times did we see it result in open shots because of just one miscue or one poor decision on who switches, who doesn't, helping off of shooters? Boy, the Pacers were ready for this series. They scouted the Knicks, and they are exploiting every weakness they can find. Yeah, I'm with you, Alan. I mean, what do you think of the adjustments that the Pacers made? Because they're not known as a defensive team. But to me, I don't know. What do you think? I thought their defense was really solid, especially in that fourth quarter. One thing to keep in mind, along with the great record they've had since January 1st, they've also been one of the, I think, a top 5 or top 10 defense in the NBA. as well. And that is something that we don't talk enough about because they score so many points. A lot of their defense sometimes, Wally, is if you're about to score a bucket, they'll almost let you have it, and then they'll get down the floor and get that 2 back. And so you think you have momentum, and then all of a sudden they're quickly scoring and taking that momentum away. That is a huge part of what they do as well. But defensively, yeah, I think they're very good defensively with a lot of the different – you notice that Nembhard guarded Brunson in the first half, and then Nesmith guarded him in the second half. You always have a fresh body on him, 30 points and 11 assists in this game. But it's just how many bodies they can throw out there. And I just keep coming back to their offense. They have found the weaknesses of the Knicks defense, and they are exploiting it. You are not seeing iso ball. You're not seeing one guy just taking on one-on-ones. They are in constant motion, and they're very difficult to guard.
Alan, we touched with Wally on the fact before you came on that the Knicks on the road in the playoffs 5-1, and now you got games 3 and 4 in Indianapolis. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an uphill climb from here, and the percentages in history tell you that everything is going against the Knicks right now. When you're down 0-2, it's very similar to the previous series when the Knicks took 2 in Boston, and they felt like they had control of the series. Indiana obviously has control of the series now, and for the Knicks, Game 3 becomes as close to a must-win as you can have. It's not an elimination game, but we all know in NBA history, if you go down 0-3, it's lights out.
All right, Alan. We'll see you shortly when you come back across the street and join us here in the studio. Wally, Pascal Siakam back in 2022 with Toronto had a career-high 52 points with the Raptors here at MSG. And tonight in MSG, playoff career-high 39 points. He scored the Pacers' first 11. What made him so hard to stop tonight?
Well, he's a big matchup problem, and the Knicks are switching a lot of the screen and rolls because, like Alan alluded to, they're struggling to control that play. And the Pacers run it perfectly. And when he gets an opportunity in a mismatch, he takes his finisher in transition. He's got a great step-back game, and he's been matched up against OG Anunoby most of the time, and he's scoring over his old teammate from Toronto. And he's having a big series so far, a big difference maker. That was a huge pickup by the Pacers when they traded for him, and he just continued to roll. In the first half, the Knicks were able to control everyone else and let him get his points. But in the second half, he got his points, 16 of them to be specific, and everyone else got their points. That's the big problem. This team is really tough to guard. They generated really good shots, especially in the fourth quarter. Some of these looks are in the fourth quarter because the Knicks, they just cannot control this team when they're running pick and roll, when they're flying at them, when they're playing aggressively, if the Knicks miss a makeable shot, it turns into an easy 2 on the other end of the floor. That's how good this team is. You have to make the shots when you're available and knock down the open ones, or else this Pacer team, they will run the ball right back down your throat and they will score on you quick.
Jalen Brunson, I mentioned 36 points now, 19 career playoff games with the Knicks with at least 30. That's one more than Patrick Ewing's 18. So Brunson has had more playoff games with at least 30 points now, Wally, than any Knick in history.
He's unbelievable. He really is. I mean, he played another amazing game, shot a high percentage, 13 for 27. You'll take that any day of the week.